Hello, good to have you with us. This is English News Broadcast on ERi-TV at exactly 10:30 p.m. And I am Salim Brhana here from the headquarters in Asmara. First, the top stories. Sawa Vocational School students graduated. Indamaso Prize awarded to outstanding students. Chad military government hold peace talk with opposition groups. Iranian guards claim ballistic missile attack in Erbil. Students from vocational school across the country that joined the 34th round of national service in Sawa and who were provided 6 months military and political training graduated today, 13th March. The graduation ceremony was attended by the commander of the Eritrean Defense Force Training Center, Major General Ramadan Osman Aulai, Governor of the Gashwarka region, Ambassador Mahmoud Ali Hurui, as well as commanders of the National Service Training Center, Lieutenant Colonel Temesgen Samuel, Deputy Commander of the National Service Training Center, indicated that the graduates came to Sawa for military and political training, completing their formal education from Naqfa, Haggaz, Dek Amhara, Mayhabar and Asmara vocational schools. Major General Ramadan Osman Aulai, on his part, congratulating the graduates, students for successfully completing their military and political training, expressed expectation that they live up to the expectations of the government and people that provided them the opportunity. The ceremony was highlighted by military parade as well as cultural and artistic performances. At the event, certificates of merit and medals were handed over to outstanding students. The National Union of Eritrean Youth and Students, in cooperation with the Ministry of Education, provided Indamaso Award to outstanding students in the Amhara subzone that scored higher marks in the 8th grade national examination. According to Mr. Filmon Mesfun, head of the National Union of Eritrean Youth and Students branch in the Amhara subzone, the awardees were 126 students, including 66 females that scored over 80 marks in the national examination. Mr. Filmon went on to say that the objective of the award is to encourage students become competitive in their academic performance and fellow students to follow their example, pointing out that the commendable performance of the students in the national examination has been the result of the strong effort on the part of the students, parents, and teachers. Mr. Yamana Aberra, administrator of the subzone, called for reinforced effort for better outcome. At the occasion, 40 women trained on beauty salon have been graduated. In the southern region, so far 1,771 outstanding students who scored higher marks in the 8th grade national examination have received the Indamaso Award. Seminar focusing on empowering women was organized in Tesane town. At the seminar, call was made on women to take advantage of the opportunity being provided to pursue their education to the highest level and teachers to play due part in the development of the overall awareness of women. Speaking at the event, Dr. Ruta Zerom, expressing the bottlenecks for the development of women, called on women to have clear vision and interest in their overall development, indicating that the challenges for the development of women are harmful practices and underage marriage. Dr. Ruta called for integrated effort to avoid the bottlenecks that are hindering the development of women. The participants, on their part, expressing the significance of the seminar in developing their understanding, called for conducting similar seminars in schools and other places. The National Confederation of Eritrean Workers, in cooperation with the Northern Red Sea Administration, organized vocational training for 52 government employees, including 31 females. At the conclusion event of the program held on 11th March, the head of the National Confederation of Eritrean Workers in the Northern Red Sea region, Mr. Habtamaram Tesfa Mikael, said that the training has been in continuation of the effort to develop the overall capacity of government employees, and called on to the trainees to apply the training they were provided in delivering effective administrative provision to the public. Mr. Amina Katama, head of administration and finance in the region, on his part indicating on the significance of the training program in human resource development, called for its sustainability. The trainees on their part, commending for the opportunity they were provided, expressed readiness to live up to the expectations. Commending for the initiative the National Confederation of Eritrean Workers is taking to develop the capacity of the government employees, Mrs. Asmaret Abraha, governor of the region, called on the sustainability of the program in cooperation with the concerned institutions. And now we'll be back with international news after a short break. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Chad's military government and dozens of opposition groups have started peace talks in Qatar as a first step towards ending a rebellion and holding elections. Some 44 armed rebel and opposition groups were invited to the Doha meeting, though some were missing at the opening today, which had already been delayed from February 27. Chad's Prime Minister Albert Pahimi Padaki and African Union Commission head Musa Faki Mohammed told the opening of the conference that both sides would have to make concession for the talks to succeed, but the process risks being protracted and complicated. The landlocked African nation was thrown into turmoil by the battle with rebels in the country's northern last April. His son Mohamed Idris Deby Itno, a 38-year-old four-star general, took over after his death, heading a 15-member and vowing to hold free election after a national dialogue that was scheduled to start on May 10. Chad has had a turbulent history since gaining independence from France in 1960, and tens of thousands have died in various conflicts between its large, shifting constellation of armed opposition groups. Iran's Revolutionary Guards Corps, IRGC, have taken responsibility for ballistic missile attack in Iraq's northern Kurdish regional capital of Erbil. This is according to Iran's state media. The elite force, in a statement released today, said it targeted the Israel strategic center in the country and that any repetition of attacks by Israel will be met with a harsh, decisive, and destructive response. Israel killed two Iranian members of the IRGC earlier this week in Syria, a close ally of Tehran. Earlier, Kurdish officials said a dozen ballistic missiles launched from outside Iraq struck the region with Erbil. Governor Ahmed Koshnau telling local broadcaster that there was a terror attack against the U.S. consulate. According to the Kurdish Interior Ministry, the missile caused only material damage to the new consulate building and injured one civilian. A U.S. State Department spokesperson called it outrageous attack but said no Americans were hurt and there was no damage to U.S. government facilities in Erbil. A train crash in the southeastern Democratic Republic of Congo has killed at least 60 people. This is according to the state rail company and local source. The director of infrastructure at the SNCC train operator, Mark Manyonga Nidambo, told the AFP news agency on Saturday that currently the toll is 61 dead men, women, and children, 52 injured who have been evacuated, but some of the bodies were still trapped in the wagons that had fallen into the ravines. Manyonga said the train was made up of 15 wagons, 12 of which were empty. It was coming from Luen Sudan in the neighboring province, distinct from the mining town of Tenke, close to Kolwezi, the capital of Lualaba province in Southern Democratic Republic Congo. It drilled at 11:50 p.m. on Thursday near the village of Buyofwe, about 200 kilometers from Kolwezi, at the place where there are ravines, into which 7 of the 15 wagons fell. He said due to the lack of passenger train or passable roads, people use goods trains to travel long distance. Last October, 9 people died after a train drilled in the city of Kenzenze in the same province. Now let's remind you the top stars. Sawa Vocational School students graduated. In Damaso, prize awarded to outstanding students. Chad military government hold peace talk with opposition groups. Iranian guards claim ballistic missile attack in Erbil. That's all with the news for this evening. Thanks for watching.